It's been a very busy week in the world of the Harry Potter TV show. Filming officially began on Monday, July 14th, and Warner Brothers released a first look at Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter himself. I think everybody looking forward to this went, oh, and he looks like Dan Radcliffe, when he started. It's a cute photo.
Well, he does have the same color eyes as Dan Radcliffe, which is to say not the same color of eyes as Lily Potter or Harry in the books, but he's...
That's it. I'm out.
I know.
Forget this.
I know. The negativity rolls on. I'm saying what I have seen in comparison, and this makes sense to me, is the early drawings of Harry Potter, which I think were largely done by Mary Grand Prix. He looks like those in the same way that 11 or 10-year-old Dan Radcliffe looked like those, and it feels altogether similar, nostalgic, tugs at your heartstrings. He just looks like a cute kid. He's a kid you want to protect at all costs and see succeed.
He does look very cute. It's funny because I don't think back in the heyday of casting rumors and first looks during the movies, I don't think we would have described anyone that way because we were close in age to the actors. But now it's just like, oh, he's such a cute little kid. Someone has to protect him at all costs. And he looks great. I actually saw a funny comment that was like, he looks more like Dan Radcliffe than Dan Radcliffe.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal to see this too, right? Here is a new person stepping into this role, and of course we've seen people portray Harry Potter through the Cursed Child, but this is a massive new undertaking. Warner Brothers has called this an 8 to 10 year project. We're going to be looking at this photo in 8 to 10 years from now being like, "Oh my God, where did the time go?" It's going to be a completely different child 8 to 10 years from now. It's kind of fascinating.
And then we can look back on our photos and the video evidence of us 8 to 10 years from now and really make ourselves feel terrible.
That's right. Look at us now before we all go gray.
Yeah.
It's already started, Eric.
Yeah, same.
For me, at least.
No, honestly, I'm hiding a few things.
We age like
bleach.
fine wine.
We do.
It's true.
But is the scar there, though? I'm trying to...
It is.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is. Yeah.
It's not as overwhelming as Dan Radcliffe's, from what I recall.
It's okay, right? It doesn't need to
It
hit
needs
you
to
over
be
the
subtle.
face.
Well, what it
Yeah.
is you're going to be staring at this scar for like 8 hours instead of 2.5. So it had to be a little bit more.
Right. Slow and
Yeah.
steady scar
Yeah.
exposure is more palatable here.
Plus, maybe it
Well,
gets
I
more
also-
noticeable as you go on.
Yeah, I also feel like it's more book accurate to the way the scar is described. I feel like in the movies, they really leaned in on making it a perfect lightning bolt. It was
Right.
too perfect to have worked. But this, I think, is more what I imagined when I was reading.
You would expect a scar to look like after like 10 years. Think
Yeah.
of ourselves when we have a scar, it's going to look more like this. So that's good.
Well, I'm still going for the Mary Grand Prix Goblet of Fire cover accurate canon scar where it's right in the middle of his forehead.
Oh, yeah, that's a little too
honestly,
on the nose,
this is
too.
the best book cover. Like, Harry looks genuinely cute, but the scar is right in the middle of his forehead, right here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, what's this kid's name again? I haven't committed to memory yet.
Dominic
Dominic.
McLaughlin.
Thank you. So Dominic is holding a director's clapboard, and we see here this is episode 1, scene 1. Interesting. But the director, Mark Malod, thank you. He is directing the first episode, and he has some big credits under his belt. He was a producer on HBO's Succession. He directed 6 episodes of Game of Thrones. He directed episode 2 of The Last of Us season 2. You all remember that one?
Huge
Titled
action
Through the
episode.
Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He also
that was a
directed
great
the
episode.
movie The Menu, which coincidentally enough
Ooh.
starred Ralph Fiennes.
Right.
Great movie. It's not what you expect. Just warning to everybody who watches it. We knew he was tied to Harry Potter. We didn't know he was going to be directing episode 1. So that's a little news as well. And on Monday, Warner Brothers also announced that the series is arriving in 2027. they had been saying 2026, then it was like 2026, 2027. Now it's 2027. Hopefully it's the start of 2027 because it's currently July 2025. If we have to wait 2 years for this, that seems like overkill. So I would think early 2027 is when we're going to be seeing this series.
Yeah. Well, especially because we're looking at Dominic here, but 2 years from now, he could look totally different when he's doing press for Sorcerer's
Right.
Stone.
I didn't think about that.
That's
Yeah.
actually quite funny. Yeah.
And on a related note, we did learn this week that seasons 1 and 2, so in theory, Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, will film back to back. That is according to Production Weekly, an industry trade publication. And we've speculated they might do this type of thing because the kids, to your point, Micah, are going to be growing up fast. And we don't want too much whiplash in between seasons like we have seen with Stranger Things.
Yeah, and also that news in particular about them filming back to back didn't surprise me because I remember hearing that for Chamber of Secrets, the movie, they filmed pretty much the week that the first movie opened. So it was like that quick a turnaround, but that still was such a time difference that we do have the pronounced, like, Dan went through puberty between movies 1 and 2, basically, and had a totally different voice. So I think they're trying to keep that as smooth as possible, the perceived aging. And then once they're teenagers, it's like, okay, 13 looks like 14, but 14 doesn't look like 11.
Yeah. Well, and the other big piece that would have clued us in on that is that they cast Lucius Malfoy, who is not in Sorcerer's Stone.
And Fudge,
Right.
too.
And Fudge.
And that actor actually confirmed, there's been a lot of news this week. That actor also confirmed that he is going to be in season 1. So what does that mean exactly? We don't know, but we'll see. Also on Monday, we got 4 new cast members. Rory Wilmot will play Neville Longbottom. Amos Kitson will play Dudley Dursley. Louise Brealey will play Madam Hooch. And Anton Lesser will play Garrick Ollivander. Takeaway, I've seen Neville, the actor playing Neville, very cute kid. Other than that,
They're all cute, especially
They all
Anton
check
Lesser's
out here.
Garrick Ollivander. The big news for me, and I wasn't expecting the TV show to invent new canon or reveal new canon this early, but I do not recall Madam Hooch's first name being Rolanda.
yeah,
I think that's right.
okay. It is funny you say that,
Okay.
Eric, because I was like, wait,
Yeah.
we're talking about Madam Hooch, right? When you say
you
Rolanda
highlighted
Hooch?
it right. You knew exactly where I was going with this. But wait, okay, so Laura, if it rings a bell, that means, darn it, it was probably from somewhere, but it's not in the books, surely.
Yeah, I don't think that it was in the books. It might have been a Pottermore
Yeah, probably.
thing.
Rolanda
Yeah.
Hooch. Okay, my wife is correcting me in real time. Meg says Rolanda is known. All right, well, it's news to me. That's what I love
News
the
to me,
most about
too.
this series. It can remind me of things that I never knew before.
I think a lot of people will know Anton Lesser from Game of Thrones. He played Qyburn. And it'd be very interesting to see him go from a role where he was doing these illegal experiments in service to Cersei Lannister to being the famous wand maker.
Equally
in,
creepy, though.
the Wizarding world.
As we know, Harry is unnerved by him a little
Well,
bit.
that was John Hurt's portrayal. I feel like it's funny. I watched the movie Sorcerer's Stone on the way back from Vegas on the flight, and that he does have a creepiness factor to him when
it's in
he
the
first
book.
meets Harry.
Harry
Is
doesn't
it?
know whether he feels comfortable with Ollivander in the book saying that Voldemort did great things. He's like, oh, okay, thanks for the wand, bye. So I think it's both.
Also, Anton Lesser has had a recurring role in Andor, very popular Star Wars series,
Oh,
so
yes,
people
yes,
probably
yes.
recognize him from there as well.
Yeah.
Well, the next day, we got our first look at Nick Frost as Hagrid. So 2 days in a row, they released, let's call them official looks at these actors in these roles. And any thoughts on him?
I'm
He
gonna
looks like Hagrid.
That's the problem. He looks too much like Robbie Coltrane's Hagrid, in my opinion. I think they have to change it up a little bit. I think this is a little lacking of creativity.
What about this nice button-down shirt? I thought that
Hagrid
was
would never go button down.
Yeah, I honestly
Robbie.
thought this was pretty nice when I looked at it.
I'm trying to throw a little, controversy into this, like
Okay.
change it, like instead of us just being, oh, look, Dominic's so cute and look at all this other he looks great. Yes. But I do feel like he's a little too much Robbie Coltrane.
I feel like there's going to be these instances where the movie version was particularly book accurate, so that if the show also wants to be book accurate, it's going to tread on the movie a little. I bet we're going to see this with Hogwarts. But, Nick Frost, I would say, falls into that category where they do seem to have employed, the same makeup person who did Robbie Coltrane to put, the beard and everything on. He does kind of look like Nick Frost superimposed onto Robbie Coltrane's Hagrid. I would agree with that.
I do wonder if, this first look is merely just that, a first look. It's just him in costume without any of the camera tricks they are going to employ to make Hagrid look as massive as we expect Hagrid to look.
Well, he looks pretty tall in this photo, Laura. His head's almost cut off by the whole frame.
No, but I do agree. I think they are shooting him from a slightly lower angle, which is an interesting juxtaposition compared to that one of Dominic, because they're definitely shooting down. But I see your point, Laura.
Yeah, and I also will say, I mean, I'll reserve judgment until we see some actual footage. But I do feel like and maybe this is just me being like chronically obsessed with like hairstyling products and stuff. I feel like his hair texture is kind of different. I feel like Robbie Coltrane's Hagrid had very just bushy hair. It almost looks like his beard has some like more curliness, some more like dreadlocks in it almost. So I feel like they could differentiate this, but I've seen some takes that people don't think he looks
unkempt enough.
Well, they don't think he looks bulky enough for Hagrid.
It's time for him to bulk
born
up.
with it. Maybe it's Rubeline in his hair.
It does look treated. His beard looks treated.
I want motorbike Hagrid.
Right.
Okay, but they're probably going for a slightly younger Hagrid too, right? So there's that.
Yeah.
They've been casting younger, it seems.
That's right.
Two, and this is something that surprises me. This photo and the photo of Dominic as Harry, these are not like stills from actual scenes. It's like they just got out of their trailers and surprise, here's a camera. It's that type of thing. It surprises me that they're releasing these as first looks. On the other hand, I think they're doing it because they're afraid of paparazzi photos getting out first. And to that point, we did get some paparazzi photos on Thursday.
I love
the Dursleys,
these.
baby.
Is this from How to Catch a Predator?
The stash is very that.
That is, and the Dursleys are no longer traditional hot, but they still look good.
But their traditional book, Petunia's Blonde, who called it? Couple episodes ago, baby, I was like, what if Petunia's blonde?
I want those glasses that both of them have. Those are looks.
They're very 90s.
To appreciate that they're leaning into the 90s of it all, because you can really see that in, the hairstyles and the glasses and the clothes. It's really nice to see that they're being like period accurate to the story.
Look at Dudley.
Looks like he's out of an episode of Saved by the Bell.
This looked to me like an outfit that a crew member at Space Mountain at Disney would wear.
Oh, yeah, like very future, very 90s. Well, there's another one of Dudley and I assume Piers. They're both in like little tracksuits, it looks like. So that's really cool.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I'm glad to see that there is like a Piers character at the zoo. There's one that isn't part of this Reddit where they're outside an enclosure. I think it's a penguin enclosure or something.
Really?
Yeah. But so it's nice to see that those little moments that I think we were all okay with not being 100% adapted into the film still nevertheless are making it into the TV show. This is already confirmation of that. Like the first week that we see any footage, we can already pretty well prove that they're going to be more accurate than the movies were, which is great.
Yeah, this is already feeling refreshing to me, right? Because like I know we were just saying Hagrid maybe looks a little too similar, but you gotta carry some things over because you don't want to make it too jarring of a change. It's going to really throw people off. They're going to have to walk a delicate line, I think.
I want to say on the record too, I don't have any qualms or concerns about Nick Frost acting as Hagrid.
Me
No.
I
neither.
think he's gonna be
no.
great.
Yeah.
He's going to be great.
We pick about the look or whatever, but ultimately it's gonna be a joy and a half to watch.
There was also a report today that the show will be filming at Hemel Hempstead School. This is a primary school. So now there's speculation that St. Gregory's Primary School, where Harry originally went, will be appearing in the show as well.
Wow.
So
They're really doing the thing properly. Like the only thing that
Let's
happens
hope.
at that school is he finds himself on the roof.
Right. Oh man, it would be so cool if we got to see some of those, off-screen moments that we just get to hear about Harry recollecting.
yeah,
That's a huge way that this show can differentiate itself.
that would be great character development for Harry, getting
Yeah.
more of his pre-You're a Wizard Harry life.
And already more substantial flashbacks than the last 4 Harry Potter films.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, y'all,
I-
we are in it now. This is happening. The show has started. The news is coming quick. I'm going to be curious to see how many of these first looks they unveil over the next few weeks, because, like I said, I think they
Well-
want to stay ahead of these paparazzi photos.
Well, that's the other piece that I was going to say too, is that we live in a totally different world now where information can just get out so much more readily, where
Right.
it happened at times when the movies were filming back in the early 2000s, but nothing like what exists today with social media. So the production team is going to have to do a good job, and the PR team is going to have to do an even better job of staying on top of those things. But I do like one thing that Camille said in the Discord: if Dudley doesn't have any Chicago Bulls gear, we riot, because the long standing joke is that there, throughout all the Harry Potter series existing in the 90s, there wasn't one mention of the Chicago Bulls' 6 NBA championships. So there has to be a shot at some point of Dudley in Bulls gear.
I want to see it when they do the Owls in Kent on Harry Potter Day. It's like, and by the way, there's this crazy. You see what's going on with the Bulls lately? Back to you, Ted. It'll be very fun.
Yeah.
So everyone stick with MuggleCast for continuing coverage of the Harry Potter TV show. Like I said, we are in it now. It's exciting to see it finally underway.